Hello fellow gamers, Jim here, and today we are looking at one of the lesser known achievement sections related to our Grand Company. So everyone in the game has to enlist in a Grand Company, and if you have any sense you will enlist in the Maelstrom because they are the best. Now, if we check out our achievement list, we can see down here we have a whole section dedicated to Grand Company. Now, each Grand Company has their own thing that you can tick off the list. It's collect a lot of seals, do a lot of missions, etc., etc. I haven't yet joined either of the other two. I will eventually at some point, I suspect. You can see the leave quests for these are actually in here, so I haven't completely ignored these two other Grand Companies, but my focus has been on the Maelstrom. However, if we look at the General tab, one thing that is common across all three Grand Companies is the Squadron. Now, there's two things you can do with the Squadrons, and let's jump into the barracks and I will run through them with you. We have our lovely pet Omega down at the bottom. Very nice. So, I'm sure many of you will have leveled up your Grand Company, right? It's a natural thing to do. You get some cool stuff for it, and you may even have touched upon your Squadrons. So if you get far enough into your Grand Company, you can unlock Squadrons, which is this sort of side content that's can be quite intricate, but basically what it revolves around is two specific things. So let's chat to the Storm Sergeant here. And we can see we've got two options. So the squadron missions, this is where we send our squadron of a light party of a bunch of the original ARR classes. So you can see I've got two Arcanists, a Marauder and a Conjurer. And you can send them out on 18 hourly missions, so very much like retainer ventures. And you pay them a certain amount of seals and they will come back to you with either having completed the mission and a small reward, or having failed it, and it sort of depends on their level, and you use this to level them up, and they get harder. So you can see here we've got some stats, so you can fail missions, blah 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 blah, right? I'm not going to go through this in much detail. There's really good resources out there to help you power through this stuff yourself. I do recommend doing it. It's quite fun, and there is, more importantly, number of achievements related to that. So you can see here, it's send your squadron on 10, 30, and 100 assignments. So that's very well and good. Squadron assignments, I should say. So I have done my 100, which is great. I will never do another one again because the rewards are not worth it. However, down here we can see command missions. So command missions, this section here, and what this lets you do is take the place of one of the members of your light party and run through a selection. You can pick from a selection of a Realm Reborn or Heavensward dungeons, and it's kind of like a trust. So you run with a bunch of these AI bots filling up the rest of your three party slots, and you beat the dungeon. You can get more rewards, etc., etc. It's a really good way to level up your alternate jobs. So if you are still working on getting through some of your other jobs that you haven't leveled yet, definitely look at this. The dungeon runs are very quick. You can do it all on your own time. You don't have to wait around in queue. However, it's only really good up to about level 60, maybe early level 60. So, you know, all my jobs are actually above level 65 now. So it's not going to be that useful. Dancer is my lowest level job, along with Red Mage. So I'm currently set up as a dancer to go through my command mission today. And it's a very special command mission because if we scroll down here, we can see it will be my 100th. So come along with me while we get this lovely achievement done. Quite a grind this. It's taken me a number of months to get it done. You don't have to work at it very hard. I mean, you could just power straight through it. This one you can just keep doing back to back, so you don't have to do. There's no time delay, right? Whereas for the Squadron missions, you have to wait 18 hours between. So that really is a very passive grind. This one can be much more active. But here we go. So, Ferrous, Sirius, Hard. This dungeon has become very familiar to me. This is the highest level dungeon you can do. Now, your squadron members are not that clever. They will take a bit of time. Like the tank will eventually pick up the ads, but it can take a bit of time to do it. So you just need to be a bit careful. Make sure, especially when you're playing a DPS, make sure you're staying relatively well mitigated. Please don't judge my dancer play, by the way. I'm terrible at dancer. Don't really know how it works. But yeah. Let's get Peloton going. Make this dungeon even faster, if at all possible. And there's a couple of fun things to do with these command missions. So you can see here we've got this orders section, which you can actually remotely command these guys to go and do some actions for you. So you can disengage the enemy, you can order them to engage a specific enemy, and then we have this limit break option here. So I will explain that when I do eventually use it, because I do intend to. And you can see these guys hit very hard, so enemies die quite quickly. I think the reason for that is basically, rather than try and program... Oh god, yeah, you can see, look. Ah! Tank! Please take my ads, thank you. You do need to be a bit careful. Yes. That's why I've got my max potions up here, so I can actually, and I've got 1,000 of them for other reasons. But if I need a burst of healing, I can actually use that bad boy. Now I will say, yeah. So basically, because I didn't want to actually program the AI of these things to be good, they just basically made the bots really strong so that you could still get through the dungeons even if they were a bit crap at mechanics and stuff. So it is quite entertaining watching them power through. Now this boss is fun. It does have some small mechanics, so you'll get tethered to these corruption things like this. And I didn't realise this before, but you can then pass your tether onto one of these little creatures that are floating about, and it then spawns an ad. And I think if you leave it on you, it spawns a really strong ad. I don't really know, but I was dying a lot when I first started doing these. This boss would kill me quite a lot because I had no idea about this mechanic. So yeah, so you still need to pay a little bit of attention. As I say, particularly if you're playing as a DPS, which you'll want to do, right? Because these queues are instant, and you know, DPS have horrible queues normally. So yes. So I do love hunting achievements, which is why I've put myself to the grind for these couple. But you know, this will be quite fun. This will be the last time I ever have to run one of these. End of an era. Okay, now what I've done here is I've told my squad to disengage so that I can now engage more fully this lot up ahead, because obviously you still want to do quite big pulls, because otherwise these dungeons can take a bit of time. Okay, yeah, this is fine. We're fine. We're fine. But yeah, you can't... I mean, if you're the tank, you can do big... You can pull the whole dungeon. That's fine. If you're not the tank... Just be careful. Just be careful. Now, the annoying thing is, right, so this time bomb... it just comes... It finds you and blows up, right? So it's not you know, you just ignore it. It's not a problem. But the problem is, these guys will not just ignore it. They don't know any better. So what you can do is, rather than have them attack all these time bombs as they float up, if you disengage them here, we can just run past them together so they don't waste time attacking it, and we can go and actually fight the next group of ads rather than wasting time, because wasting time is obviously the ultimate sin in Final Fantasy XIV. So I'm going to bring everything all the way to the bottom. I don't know if my group will stay with me. No, they're up there. That's fine. Alright, let's go. Let's go help them out. Yeah, this attack, this ground AoE that these guys do is quite punchy. Unfortunately, the tank is not pulling them into it. No! Oh dear. Never mind. Yeah, and so I'm not bothered about that time bomb, so let's order the guys to specifically engage the incubator here, and then we can carry on. Now, the reason I'm picking up loot is for Grand Company turn-ins, because why not? Free currency, right? Ah. Now, there's a couple of other fun things that are unique to Squadrons. So you can see in my inventory, I have this high-grade company issue tonic that will res any fallen squadron member if it comes to it. So I've got a bunch of those, and I will look forward to chucking them out of my inventory, because, you know, my guys are quite beefy now. They don't, you know, they've all got this +5 buff, which you build up over time. So no need to have a bunch of rezzing potions for them. Oh, I should probably make you my dance partner, shouldn't I? That's a thing that dancers do, I believe. Yeah, this boss, I think you can kind of ignore the ads. I don't really know. The mechanics of this boss seem a bit mad, because at first, oh god. So the first thing that he does is quite straightforward, but then what happens is you get these gels spawning, which is fine, but then you also get a bunch of other ads who come down, and they've got these like alchemy engines, yeah, these, and I've died here before and I don't really know why, but yeah, you can see, so the boss was in this ground AoE, I think it's called Shadow Flare maybe. I think it used to be an actual ability in game, but it got taken out of Summoner's kit, but it was, or Arcanist's kit, I don't know. Anyway, and but they kept it in the Squadrons because, you know, why not? This is a legacy feature from, I think it was introduced in Heavensward, but yeah, this is not a feature they're keeping up to date. Let's be honest. So yeah, there's a bunch of actions in here that these lot will do that no longer exist in the actual game, which is quite fun. Well, I think it's funny. All right, come on, let's go. Nearly done. Ah, end of an era. You don't understand how long I've been doing these missions, man. Oh, it's just taken so long. But I'm happy to get it done. And as I say, it's not just a grind for the sake of the grind. It's actually useful to level alternate jobs, which is really good. And it's a bit mindless, you know. And running dungeons can be fun, even like old dungeons that you don't get to see very often. So yeah, I have a soft spot. I have warm feelings about this particular bit of content. Happy to do it. Although I will definitely not mind seeing the back of this dungeon when it comes to it. Alright. Come on, let's fight the correct ads here. I am dying. Where's my healer? Yeah, and I think this room as well. So these old school dungeons, man, they used to have quite a lot going on. So these walls will break if the enemies keep attacking, and these bombs that are being spawned will go for those walls. And if those walls break, more ads will spawn, which no one's got time for that. So you do want to take out these bomb incubators as quickly as you can, really. And there we go. So that's the last set of ads I will ever beat with my squadron. How sad. Ah! Alrighty. Now you can see here we've got our limit break. Well, just about. You can see I've got a limit break bar filled up, which is nice. And we're on to the final boss. Now the reason I mentioned the limit break, we will see it shortly. But what you can see is it's giving me access to the squadron limit break, which is Ungamax. Oh, I used an AoE skill for some reason. Because I'm the game's best dancer. No, I'm really not. But yeah, so this is a little bit of backwater content. Not many people probably know about it. Certainly not many people have done 100 command missions. So, you know, I'm happy to have got it done. Would I recommend it? Well, like I say, the command missions themselves are good fun and good a good way to level other jobs. So, you know, there's a practical use to them. Is it fun content in general? Probably not. But anyway, so now that the actual boss has come out, the phase 2 boss, and we're going to hit execute limit break. And so we all team up. Team attack! Let's go. And what that does is it does a little bit of damage, but more importantly it gives everyone this damage up buff, including all my squadron members. So for a short bit of time we're all doing far more damage, which is good. So, you know, if you're a good gamer you can plan your burst around it, etc. I mean, look, we're capped at level 60, so you don't have anything like your full kit, so it doesn't really matter. This boss isn't going to hurt us anyway. Well, I will bust out my second wind because it's there, why not? Alright, 10% left. Guys, this is the end of an era. End of an era. Oh, and we get Dungeon Master challenge log complete as well, so isn't that lovely? Grab the loot if you want it. As I say, you can use it to get some more Grand Company seals. Exit the dungeon. Oh god, what was I doing there? And then, for the final time, speak to the Storm Squadron Sergeant to claim our reward. Yeah, you can see we get some junk here. And what's this? Dear Leader 3, 10 achievement points. You love to see it. So, yeah, there you go. So, achievements current area, none. That's what we're talking about. How exciting. Yes, I've been working on this tab for a while. So, this is one of the few tabs that I've got fully complete now. So, that's exciting. Apart from exploration, which almost by default, you complete them as you go. But yeah, so 10 points in the bag. Grand Company tab within the Grand Company category ticked off, and another 10 points for my arsenal. What did we get as a item reward? So you can get these books which allow you to change classes of your squadron members. I'm not interested in that. Let's chuck you out. You can also get these tonics, which I mentioned before, so they revive your team members if they die. But I don't need those anymore, so that's a nice chuck out. And then the last thing you get, which is actually quite useful, Maelstrom Aetheryte tickets. So you use one of these bad boys from anywhere in the game, just like any other Aetheryte ticket, and it teleports you here, which can be quite useful, right? It's a free return if you've used your return already and your home base is Limsa. But there we go. So guys, hope you enjoyed this little trip down achievement memory lane. I had good fun getting it, I'm very glad the grind is done there, though. So, happy days. Take care, you guys, and I will see you next time. Cheers.